Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The diagnostic trouble code P0523 indicates a high voltage condition detected in the rocker arm oil pressure sensor circuit. This sensor is crucial for monitoring oil pressure within the rocker arm system, which directly influences engine performance and oil distribution. If the PCM, or powertrain control module, receives a signal voltage exceeding 4.79 volts from this sensor, it triggers the P0523 code. It's essential to recognize that this DTC falls under the powertrain management (PGM-FI) category, which encompasses both engine and transmission functions. The rocker arm oil pressure sensor is located within the engine bay, typically near the cylinder head, where it can gauge real-time oil pressure efficiently. Understanding this DTC is vital for maintaining optimal engine function and ensuring that any issues with oil pressure do not lead to more significant engine damage. The rocker arm oil pressure sensor is an essential component that provides continuous readings regarding the oil pressure within the engine's rocker arm mechanism. It plays a significant role in ensuring that there is adequate lubrication in the engine. The sensor's primary task is to convert physical oil pressure into an electrical signal that is sent to the powertrain control module, PCM. When oil pressure is high, the signal voltage increases, which is crucial for the PCM to adjust different functions, such as fuel injection and engine timing, for better fuel efficiency and performance. Location-wise, it is typically situated close to the engine's cylinder head, where it can efficiently measure the oil pressure produced by the oil pump. If the oil pressure exceeds the normal threshold, it can lead to the triggering of the P0523 DTC, indicating that the engine requires immediate attention to prevent damage. Several factors can result in the P0523 DTC being triggered, primarily centering around the rocker arm oil pressure sensor and its connections. Firstly, a faulty rocker arm oil pressure sensor is a common cause. It may either provide false readings or fail to relay any signal to the PCM. Additionally, wiring issues such as fraying or short circuits can disrupt the accurate flow of data, falsely indicating high voltage conditions. Moreover, a malfunction in the PCM itself could lead to incorrect processing of data and erroneous triggering of this DTC. Conducting a thorough inspection of the wiring harness along with the sensor is critical to identify the root cause. Importantly, before replacing parts, proper verification of all related components should be undertaken to ensure unnecessary replacements are avoided. When the P0523 DTC is active, a primary symptom you may observe is the illumination of the check engine light on the dashboard. This light serves as a warning sign that an issue has been detected in the engine management system. Another indicator may be a noticeable decrease in engine performance. This could manifest as sluggish acceleration or reduced fuel efficiency, which might affect your driving experience. Furthermore, drivers might also notice that the oil pressure readings spike beyond normal levels on the dashboard gauge, suggesting that the system is relaying inaccurate information. Such symptoms would necessitate immediate inspection and troubleshooting to identify the underlying issue effectively. Ignoring these symptoms could potentially lead to more severe engine complications. The first step in troubleshooting the P0523 DTC involves verifying the conditions that led to the code being set. Begin by turning the vehicle to the on mode, which powers up the vehicle's electronic systems without starting the engine. Once in this mode, utilize the HDS, or Honda Diagnostic System, to check the voltage output from the rocker arm oil pressure sensor. The sensor should deliver a voltage reading exceeding the threshold of 4.79 volts when functioning correctly. If the reading matches this condition, it indicates that the failure has been duplicated allowing you to progress to the next step. However, if the voltage remains below this threshold, it suggests an intermittent issue, prompting a need to inspect for poor connections or loose terminals between the rocker arm oil pressure sensor and the PCM. In this step, we focus on determining the possible failure area related to the rocker arm oil pressure sensor. First, switch the vehicle to the off or lock mode to ensure that all electronic systems are powered down for your safety. Next, disconnect the 3P connector associated with the rocker arm oil pressure sensor. After disconnection, use a jumper wire to connect terminals A and B of the 3P connector, which are designated as number 1 and number 2, two terminals respectively. By using this jumper, you are mimicking an operational sensor and will now turn the vehicle back to the on mode to recheck the conditions. At this stage, once again, utilize the HDS to monitor the voltage coming from the sensor. If the voltage surpasses the 4.79 V threshold, it indicates the sensor itself is defective, prompting further action in the following steps. Having completed the second step, now you will determine if the issue resides within the SG2 line or other components. Begin by ensuring the vehicle is turned off again. After that, remove the jumper wire from the rocker arm oil pressure sensor connector to return to standard operation. With the vehicle back in the on mode, measure the voltage between two specific test points. The first test point is number 1 on the 3P connector, while the second is number 2, 3 of the same connector. You're looking for a voltage reading that should ideally be about 5.0 V. If this reading confirms within the expected range, it suggests that the SG2 wire is performing correctly. However, inconsistent readings would indicate a need for additional investigation in the subsequent steps. In this troubleshooting step, we focus on conducting an open wire check specific to the SG2 line. Begin the process by turning the vehicle off again to safely access the necessary components. Using the HDS, jump the SCS line and wait for a minimum of 1 minute, preparing the system for testing. Next, disconnect the PCM connector B, which has 51 pins. This will allow you to conduct a continuity test between the designated test points while ensuring that the rocker arm oil pressure sensor 3P connector remains disconnected. The test points are number 1 on the rocker arm oil pressure sensor and number 45 on the PCM connector B. You expect a continuity signal indicating that the SG2 wire is intact. If continuity is confirmed, this suggests that the wire is functioning as intended. However, if there is no continuity, it indicates an open circuit that requires you to repair the wire connecting the PCM to the rocker arm oil pressure sensor. The final troubleshooting step involves checking for any issues specifically within the OP sensor line. As with previous steps, start by switching the vehicle to off mode for safety purposes. Use the HDS to jump the SCS line again and wait for a minute. After that, disconnect the PCM connector B, ensuring it's separate from the other components. For the continuity test, isolate the connection points. Connect number 2 on the rocker arm oil pressure sensor 3P connector with number 47 on the PCM connector B. The expectation here is similar to previous steps. An affirmative continuity test signifies that the OP sensor wire is functioning correctly. Should you find no continuity, it's essential to repair the existing open circuit in the OP sensor wire between the PCM and the rocker arm oil pressure sensor. This final step is crucial in restoring proper electrical flow and functionality. After completing the troubleshooting and any necessary repairs, the next step is to perform a thorough final verification to ensure that the DTC P0523 has been resolved. Begin by reassembling all connections and components that were disrupted during the diagnostic process. Once everything is correctly returned to its place, utilize the diagnostic tool to clear the DTC from the vehicle's systems. Following this, it is vital to conduct a test drive of the vehicle, monitoring the engine's performance and checking if the check engine light remains off. Observing if any abnormal engine behaviors resurface during the drive is essential. Confirming that the voltage readings return to the normal range and that there are no further issues will indicate a successful resolution to the DTC P0523 fault. Preventive maintenance is an essential aspect of avoiding the recurrence of issues related to the P0523 DTC. One of the most effective practices is to ensure regular oil changes are performed according to the manufacturer's guidelines, as this keeps the engine lubricated and functioning properly. Additionally, it is advisable to routinely inspect the wiring connections around the rocker arm oil pressure sensor and the PCM. Checking these connections helps prevent future faults due to wear and tear or environmental factors. Periodic sensor checks can also be beneficial to ensure that the rocker arm oil pressure sensor maintains its accuracy over time. Maintaining vigilance concerning these areas can significantly reduce the likelihood of encountering the same diagnostic trouble code, leading to improved engine reliability and performance. Concluding the discussion on the P0523 DTC, it is critical for vehicle owners and technicians to fully understand this trouble code's diagnostic implications. Recognizing the potential causes, such as sensor defects or wiring issues, is the first step toward effective troubleshooting. By systematically following the outlined troubleshooting steps, technicians can pinpoint the specific area that requires attention, ensuring that repairs are accurate and efficient. Finally, adopting a proactive approach through regular vehicle maintenance and component checks can help mitigate the risk of future occurrences of this DTC. Ultimately, proper knowledge and preventive strategies can enhance the vehicle's engine performance and reliability, ensuring a smoother driving experience. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.